I'm so glad that Reverend Ali is with us helping us this morning. I have not had very much time with him, but in the short time we've had together, I've learned that he's really smart and that he's a really good theologian and that he knows a lot of things about the church around the world. So he may already know some of the things I'm going to say this morning, but we are delighted that you are here. So bear with us if you've heard some of these things before. Scholars of church history and religious trends think that every now and then, that is about every 500 years or so, there is a major shift so profound the church is transformed in monumental ways. These same scholars are increasingly coming to believe we are in such a time right now in our own lives, experiencing what many believe is the largest shift in the church since the Reformation about 500 years ago. What the future holds is not certain. What is certain is that change is coming, like it or not, and this will not be a fad with changes dying out in a little while if we just ignore them and wait them out until we can settle back into more familiar territory. We're talking about transformative change, taking the church on the next phase of its journey with God. And some of what this may mean is beginning to take shape in the world around us right now, providing us glimpses of what the future church may hold. Now, although I'm not totally convinced we completely understand what we're saying or truly give action to our words, we generally say the future of the church is our children, our youth, our young adults. And if we look to our youth and young adults, if we can hear what they are trying to tell us, we might begin to see the future church. Actually, we might begin to see the only church that makes any difference in the world right now at the beginning of the 21st century. For young people are not only the church of the future, young people are the church right now. If we cannot hear them now, if we do not involve them now in truly significant ways in today's church, including decision-making, when we look to them some distant day to be the church of the future, we will discover they left a long time ago. Now, at General Assembly, I was really impressed with the young adult advisory delegates. Sometimes in past years, YADs really didn't say a whole lot. They weren't very vocal. GA was kind of an honor, a good time with other young adults, a place to learn about the larger church for future reference just in case you might need it someday. This year's YADs talked a lot, a whole lot, not only in committees, but on the floor of General Assembly. And it is a proud moment for a pastor to hear a YAD from your own congregation stand at the microphone, addressing the moderator and the entire assembly as our own Ozzy Oduma did. Be proud, Fort Street. You were well represented on the committees and on the floor, not only by Elder Commissioner Bob Ponder, but also by YAD Ozzy Oduma. These YADs were smart. They knew the issues. They knew how to strategize, deciding who would say what and when, and they weren't afraid. They knew what they wanted to say. They figured out how to get it done. They spoke boldly. They spoke clearly. And it wasn't only the YADs. There was also a 13-year-old girl there, I think, from Central Presbyterian Church in Atlanta, who testified in the committee that was working on a definition of marriage. I wasn't there to hear what she said, but apparently she was amazing and in some circles was the talk of the assembly. Sometimes, though, as I walked about, I'd hear some YADs despairing of all the arguing, the lengthy, belabored process of getting anything done. You see, they're not only bold with solid opinions to share, they're also a little impatient, wanting to see things happen to make a tangible difference in the world right away. And they don't quite get what all the arguing is about. Quite frankly, some of the older folks there are getting a little impatient too, increasingly less willing to put up with all the arguing about a lot of things and wanting to make a difference in the world facing huge problems every single day. Now this year, as often usual, two of the big hot button issues at GA were the rules about who can be ordained and how marriage is to be defined. Actually, that last one was the first time to be on General Assembly agenda. As discussion about the fate of LGBT persons in the PCUSA went on longer and longer and longer, one young man, one of the Yads, went to the microphone and told the assembly, "This is not our issue. We have no problem with this. We understand and love our LGBT friends, and we don't get what the whole big deal about all of this is. It's simply not our problem." You see, young people have a lot on their minds, including about a lot of things, including the church, if the church will listen. About 26% of our country's population is 18 to 32 years old. And as I look around the sanctuary, this is not reflected here at Ford Street, nor is it reflected in many of our churches. Another 20% are between the ages of 33 and 44, again, not the case in many of our churches. Now, we really, truly love our members and friends who are older than 44 or 65 or 80 or 90, and we definitely want and need you here, right here with us. But these other folks are out there somewhere. Why aren't they here? We think it would be great to have them in their church, at least we think, to have them in our church, at least we think it would, but who are they? And what are they like? Well, they care passionately about relationships and want a church where relationship matters, where connection is important, and community is real. They want to heal the hurts of the world and don't much care about the issues the PCUSA argues about. They are not passive, they want to be actively involved, and they are looking for experiences. Experiences genuinely involving them in worship, experiences making a difference in the community around them. They are savvy about global issues, but they want to act locally and see results. They are much less concerned about whether you are liberal or conservative, and much more concerned about what you are actually doing. If they go to church, which generally they do not see as essential, although they do tend to be very spiritual, it will be a church not of words, but where they experience and feel how the living Christ makes a difference in their lives and in your life and in the life of the community and in the outreach to the surrounding community. So if this is who they are, if we think we want them here, are we able to offer them what they really need? And even if we do have something for them, how will we find them? How will we let them know we are here with something to offer? 53% of 18 to 44-year-olds would most likely only find us on the internet. The outgoing moderator of the General Assembly, the Reverend Bruce Reyes Chow, is known as the techie moderator. He understands much of what is happening in the church today and what has to happen if the church is going to survive. Kids and young adults love him. So do a lot of older, emergent church-type people. And Bruce actually is one of the preachers at the Presbyterian Youth Triennium next week at Purdue University, where nearly 5,000 Presbyterian high schoolers and their advisors will gather. Bruce Reyes Chows know this is a high-tech group who spend time on the internet, a lot of time on the internet. If we raise the age a bit, 83%, that's 83%, of 18 to 54-year-olds use the internet and use it a lot, seeking all kinds of information from medical to the best ice cream places, trendy fashions, best bargains in town, connecting with family and friends, getting the news, and if there are any religious or spiritual groups offering anything of interest to help them in their lives.